Wow, it's been what, a week? Week and a half?
Week.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow, it's been what, a week? Well, happy Women's History Month.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow, it's been what, a week? Well, happy Women's History Month.
Shit.
I mean, that shit's buzzing on Twitter. Like, I know, Pete, you don't have a Twitter, but I'm sure Rambo's getting into a bunch of shit with Women's History Month.
No, I'm actually staying away from it. I only have one more infraction before. Well, I only have one more infraction before I get off the platform entirely. So I have to kind of be careful with what I dive into.
Like, you've gotten, wait, you can get strikes or some shit on Twitter?
I've been suspended 12 times on Twitter, and so with the new rules, as soon as I get reported again, since I've been reported 10 times before, then I'm out.
Hey, what's going on, Garuda, Cyrus, Xbox Guy, J Caesar?
And y'all wonder why I don't have a Twitter.
I have never been reported as far as I know. I mean, could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll know if like. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many times I've been reported. I just know how many times they've taken action on me.
Oh, okay. I see. Like what? Like a temporary ban or something?
Yeah.
So, a whole bunch of, not conservative, but conservative, liberal, like non-SJW liberal and libertarian YouTubers, along with a bunch of, like, not just, like, gun channels, but, like, airsoft gun channels. And a whole bunch of others got purged from YouTube the other day.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sargon was completely locked out of his Google account, not just YouTube, but the entire Google account. And yeah.
Yeah, they said it was an accident. It was like, but it seems like their accidents always target a certain single group of people.
Right?
Yeah,
and that's the thing, like,
coincidental.
If these are all accidents, then they are literally the most inept business owners on the face of the planet. Because how do you let the same exact thing happen? What is this, like 4 or 5 times now?
Wait.
Well, did y'all see their tweet?
What tweet?
Where they said they're going to celebrate Women's History Month, even though I can't believe it's Women's History Month in 2018, something like this, and the pay gap still exists.
Oh my god.
And somebody responded to him saying, "I hate y'all, your platform, everything you stand for, from the demonetizations to this tweet." And instead of actually, recognize having some self-reflection and recognizing the space that YouTube is in, their verified Twitter account responded, "And yet you follow us."
Well, see, I'm kind of fed up with this. Like, if you're black, you get a special month. Now, if you're a woman, you get a special month. What about the rest of us? I want one.
Well, apparently, we've been told that our month is the entire year.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the neckbeard month?
Exactly. Where's the I don't go shoot up at school and play video games instead month? My mic is super low. Here, I'll fix that.
Yeah. Did you guys see what I posted it in the Facebook chat, but did you guys see the tweet from Anita Sarkeesian?
Yeah, I mean that's a person that has no self awareness at all.
Oh, this is just hilarious. Because
she's the one who wanted, like, said games were too violent and it was causing violence and everything like that. But now that Trump's for it, she's like, no,
well, no.
there's.
Wait, Trump is for violent video games?
No, Trump is for talking about banning them or doing something about them. And now all of a sudden she's reversing course and acting like the.
I think it's because they're stuck with the gun narrative. Because they've been saying that guns are causing the violence and all these. So if she keeps saying that violent video games cause it, well then it's not guns causing it.
Well, no, it's not. It's because of the fact that Trump said it. So she can't agree with anything that Trump says based on her ideological standpoint. So now she has to reverse course on everything that she has actually said that Trump is agreeing with her on. It's just fucking insane. It's like, if you have convictions, stick with them. Like, you just look like a fool.
Dude. Right, Go Get. We do need a Native American month. I'd celebrate that one.
That's really surprising, though. I mean, here we are. I mean, seriously, one of the most, I would say, one of the most oppressed groups, considering, like, in the history of the United States.
Yeah,
they weren't really genocide.
Like, we weren't fucking slaved. We were just, yeah, I'm gonna take your shit now.
They definitely weren't. They definitely really weren't nice. No, neither side was nice, really. But I think they deserve a month. If everybody's gonna have a month, I mean, why not?
Bro, rednecks need a month. Fucking Indians need a month. What about?
Well, that means we're going to extend the calendar.
I mean, I feel bad for brown people. Shut up, Go Get. So what have you guys been up to? Like, I've just been playing games. Yeah, me too. I see Pete's been playing a lot of Killing Floor 2.
I booted up the newest Deus Ex this morning.
How are you liking that?
Finally not. I loved it. It was crashing before, but this time I actually got to play it without it crashing. So I think that that bad RAM stick was really fucking with shit.
You platinum any games, Rambo, since the last time we did one of these?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, I haven't been feeling myself lately, so.
Well, shit, man.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, things have been kind of out of whack. It seems like for everyone. I mean, well, except Brim. I mean, he's got enough shit to keep him busy now, but.
Oh, it's still out of whack though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. Yeah, it's been fucking nuts. Yeah,
I have not checked it out yet, Jay Caesar.
Checked one out.
The new Sword Art Online game.
Yeah, I've been seeing that advertised. It looks pretty good, even if you're not into the anime. It's definitely something like, because I don't watch really any anime unless it's something that really grabs my attention, and I'd still play it. But yeah, I got season 2 of the Batman Telltale stuff. Dude, you haven't played it yet, right, Rambo?
Which one?
Season 2 of Batman the Telltale?
Oh no, I haven't played. No, I haven't played it yet.
Oh, dude. I can see why you're waiting for episode 5, because like I probably either tonight or tomorrow I'm gonna get done with the episodes that are out, and yeah, if they're anything like the first 2, then I'm gonna like be counting the days till episode 5. And yeah,
it's that good,
dude. It really is. That whole series tells a Batman story you've never heard anywhere else. I mean, and probably will never hear anywhere else. I mean, imagine the Waynes as criminals. I mean, it's amazing. Like, if it wasn't a Telltale game, oh my god. It'd be great. That's its only downfall. So, did you guys hear what Trump had to say or whatever with the violent video game thing? I haven't seen anything on it all day, but then again, I really haven't looked.
Oh, he was supposed to be meeting with him sometime next week, but it's not. I mean, he's not meeting with anybody. He's only meeting with, if anybody, he's only meeting with like probably like independent developers, which is kind of like worrisome at that point because the independent developers are like the majority of them are like huge SJW types. So who knows what the hell they're gonna come up with? I mean, I'm hoping that like they bring in the guy that made Kingdom Come Deliverance and shit like that, because like
Oh, I was
we
gonna
need
say
them to.
because the most staunchly anti SJWs are also independent, like the guy who created Minecraft and Kingdom Come Deliverance, and then CD Projekt Red and shit like that. So I don't know. Who knows what the roster's gonna be of who he gets.
You know, the team that made that Hatred game should meet with Trump.
I mean, here's the other thing, right? As much as I don't like his comments, he's done this before where he's said some stupid shit and gotten his opponents, or whatever you want to call them, to like agree with the stupid shit, and then he changes his mind, and then everybody see, like, because like on the bump stock ban and stuff, he was saying how what was the line? It was take their guns away now and due process later.
Yeah, some
and
bullshit
so he says
like
something.
That, yeah.
So he says something like that, and then he gets all these people to agree and start saying, "Oh yeah, take it away now and due process later." And then all of a sudden he changes his minds, but everybody's already seen that all these assholes have been saying basically take away due process. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's done stuff like that before. So I'm holding off on saying that he's an idiot until this kind of plays itself out a little bit, because like I said, he's done that kind of stuff before, and I have a feeling he's trying to bait out a bunch of people, especially because midterm elections for the Senate and House, or one of them at least, are real close. So he might be trying to get a bunch of even Republicans to any of them that agree with gun control to say they agree with gun control, and then people will know that, so they could vote against them in the midterms.
Dude, shit's gonna get like pretty bad, I think. Like, it's with net neutrality being ripped away or whatever in a month. I mean, they're doing it in April, right?
Well, I mean, that we don't know if they are or not. I mean, it still has to go to to get it like fully approved or whatever. But I mean, the motion's in place, but we just have to wait to see if it actually does go through.
I mean, with the whole violent video game thing, I think the net neutrality thing. There was a fucking college shooting today. They're in, I think, Michigan, but only 2 students were killed. So to me, that sounds more like a planned, like, I hate these guys, I'm going to shoot them type thing, rather than some random act of violence.
But did the guy kill himself? Was he stopped by somebody?
No, I believe the cops got him, but he did kill 2 students, so. I mean, shit's just gonna keep, like, and then with that, like, it seems like every day the stupid opioid thing is trending somewhere, whether it be Facebook or Twitter, or like now Trump wants drug dealers to get the death penalty, which I guess if it happens, it happens. I don't really care, but it's just fucking crazy, dude.
Well, the way like what would actually have to happen for them to do anything gaming? Because Trump couldn't sign an executive order to do anything. Because it's already been proven and ruled on by the Supreme Court as protected speech. And so they would have to get like the vote happening in Congress, a bill, and then it would be petitioned, in front of the Supreme Court to see if the Supreme Court would ever rule themselves. So I don't see video games ever being a true problem. And I really don't know what the fuck's going to happen with it.
So there would be like several more steps before they could do anything to video games.
Oh yeah, I mean, it would be. I really highly doubt that the Supreme go, oh well, yeah, we've considered this, and we're gonna like reconsider and go back on our own original ruling. And so the people that are in that position were the ones that actually ruled they were protected. So, I mean, it would be a very wild ride if that never. But I mean, they're like the Supreme Court. I think that they're smart enough to be able to see that the rest of the world has the exact same video games and not the exact same, outcomes. So I mean, it's not really that hard to figure out a scientific study on it.
Yeah, talking to Infinite Retro lately, like they get basically all the same games we do in Australia.
No, like a lot of their stuff is like in Australia is cut. Like there's a lot of shit cut out of their games. Like their government like makes people remove shit from their games. I mean, now here lately it's been better, but there for a while, like they were getting like half the game that we were. Like the developers would have to redo a part to make it Australia friendly.
I mean, you can still hop on Call of Duty and Battlefield and stab someone in the back. I mean,
yeah,
and they don't
they just can't put emus in the game.
Exactly. As long as there's not an emu in sight, there's no wars or anything in Australia. There's no murders.
Like if they ever make Call of Duty Emu Edition, like it'd be banned in Australia.
Dude, I would.
Well, the real stupid thing is that violent crime has been dropping for the last 50 years.
You really think so?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you look at the stats. It's now certain kinds have been increasing, like mass shootings. Well, if you look at, because they like to fudge the numbers by saying a mass shooting is any incident where 2 or more people get shot. But even looking at the older, more real definition, where it's like, I think it's like 5 or more or something like that, those have increased. But yeah, no, on the whole, violent crime has dropped. Like, it's a huge amount, and it's the same in just about every Western country.
Well, if you look at it, we've been having guns, I guess the entire history of the United States, and even before we even became the United States. And our problem has been here as of late. And then you even look at another thing, and like teachers sleeping with students. There was never a huge, almost a weekly report of a teacher sleeping with a student.
In all fairness, recently, though, teachers were never fuckable before now.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, though, I mean, in history, like, that just doesn't do it. But if you look at the age of these teachers that are fucking students, and the age of these school shooters, they're all right around the same fucking generation. And it seems like the whole everyone deserves a trophy generation can't seem to fucking handle life, and they go out and fuck kids and shoot kids. Like, we created this fucking monster.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Well, then fucking natural selection needs to kick in. Keep eating Tide Pods, motherfucker. I mean, just like when we were kids, whoever swallows the most marbles doesn't have kids. I mean, come on, start eating the fucking things again.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's if you just look at if you look at the age, I mean, I got to thinking, I'm like going, it's the same fucking generational people, and Jesus, like it's like now that they're becoming adults, we're seeing like what everyone deserves a trophy generation has become, and we're not really liking it.
Yeah, mental illness has increased in 50 years somewhat, but I think more people are seeking help for mental illness, so there's a record of it now. Like, because if you think about it, when our parents were kids or our grandparents were kids, it was like, oh, you're depressed today? Well, fucking go have a beer and lighten the fuck up. There's no, let's go get Prozac.
Another problem is like that we're just dumping Prozac and shit on top of anybody.
Oh yeah.
Like as soon as you mention that you're sad, you're 40 milligrams of Prozac and you're good.
That's what I take.
What's the stat? I think something like 30% or maybe even more of boys in school are on Ritalin.
Well, yeah, I think the majority of all the mass shooters were on like some sort of Prozac.
Yeah.
Well,
and Prozac has a really bad side effect.
They all do. Yeah, they all have violent ideations or suicidal tendencies.
Yeah, it just matters on like if you're susceptible to that side effect or not. But if you are, then I mean, there's a definite correlation between the two. But I mean, by God, we should never take a look at Big Pharma.
No, of course not.
I mean, our generation is responsible for Prozac. You know that, right? Like, we helped like further it. You know, I mean, it's been around a long time, but we helped make it what it is today.
Right. I don't think that Prozac is the problem. I think that doctors and parents quickly putting their kids on it just simply because, hey, my kid said he's sad, and like, oh gosh, well, we got to get him on Prozac. My kid is, he's getting in trouble at school. Well, Ritalin's the key. You know, I mean, it's like we're so quick to put a label on these kids rather than actually. Like maybe some of them are just being kids, like and just going through a tough time, and maybe just need to talk, rather than dump them on a medication. I mean, I don't know. I just think
a lot of it's the way school evolved because kids need play. Like if baby rats, if you don't let baby rats play, they will literally die. Even if they're given everything, they're kept warm, they're given food, they're given water, all that. If they're not allowed to play with other rats, they will literally just wither and die.
And that's where Cyrus's theory comes in. That's the internet. Every fucking kid's got to be connected.
That's the thing. Even with the internet, I don't know. I mean, like, he talked about like people having more contempt it still goes back to the parent though. I mean, by teaching the kid, like going, look, fucking man the fuck up. It's just words. Who gives a shit what somebody fucking says to you?
And here's the thing.
If you care that much, go put a fucking tampon in and call yourself a bitch. Like
they've done some studies on like the correlation between people's actions online and people's actions in the real life. And there's really no strong correlation or evidence that people who do, quote unquote bad things to other people online or whatever you want to call it, bullying or trolling or whatever, that it does not translate to people doing that same thing in real life when they're actually in front of the person.
Now, I believe that at the school like that, like it's harder. I mean, it's easier. Like whenever I say that, that about like man the fuck up or whatever, it's different. Like if you're online and some random fucking person replies to you on Twitter or on a YouTube video and says something mean or whatever, who gives a fuck? Just move the fuck on. But when there's somebody at your fucking school, like posting shit and creating like basically not only a hostile environment while you're online, but then, you go to school and you still have to face all these people that are seeing all this shit online. That needs to be dealt with by the schools and the people or whatever. But too many people
at
are
home,
so
it's
fucking,
the parents though. I mean,
yeah, but too many people are so fucking quick to like, I can't handle mean random people. Well, Jesus fucking Christ, like move the fuck on, just grow up, just die already. Like, if you can't handle a mean random person on the internet, you sure as fuck can't handle life.
I mean, that's the thing, though. What exactly can you do about kids making fun of each other on Facebook?
Don't give them a device that gets on Facebook. But then,
that's literally all that's you can do, and even that's probably not going to stop them.
No, it actually won't. And I have personal experience with that. My son has not been able to watch YouTube because he can't go like a fucking week without misbehaving for almost a year now. And he's been really good lately. And I'm like, wow, I'm thinking about giving him that privilege back. Well, my daughter, and I'm using air quotes, lost her tablet and could not find it. I discovered it was hidden in the bathroom. So I go through the search history, and it's all YouTubers that he watches. So he hid it in the bathroom and used the tablet in the bathroom. So yeah, that's not going to stop them. They'll find a way around it.
Yep. They've done studies. The stricter parents are, the better kids get at learning how to subvert them.
Well, you have to be a happy medium with the strictness and the looseness, because if you're a lax parent, to me, you ain't a fucking parent.
But I think for me, it would be like more choosing what you're strict with.
Well, that's why I said you have to find the happy medium.
Yeah.
Because like the parents that are just lax, like, to me, like, the only thing you're doing is like trying to be their fucking friend, and you're not put on the earth to be your kid's friend.
You can't do that all the time. It's cool to be friendly with them and be their pal every once in a while, but you can't do it every day all the time.
Yeah, just don't get it mixed up. Don't let your child get it mixed up to where, oh, like my dad or my mom is cool and whatever. Like, let them know, like, they always need to know that the power dynamic, that they're the kid, you're the parent, and there's that separation there.
For those of you wondering what's on the screen, I mean, it might be vulgar to you. You might be offended, but it's Women's History Month, so I figured I'd show some women off.
I don't know, just this young generation, just one of these days they're going to be the ones running for office, and our only opportunity to vote would be to vote for one of them, and it's just gonna.
Well, I mean, honestly, like, as much as I hate it, like, kids have been given way too much power. So the whole, can't spank your kid thing, or they'll call Child Protective Services, that's way over the line. That needs to have a happy medium as well. Because sometimes, as a last resort, your kid needs to be swatted on the ass with a belt. I mean, really, I'm not even, like, fucking around here. Sometimes, in a very rare case, that has to happen. I personally can't do it. I can't bring myself to do that, but I believe if the circumstances were different and it was a viable option, then maybe, the outcome would be different.
We've allowed we've just allowed the government to step in the place of parenting.
Yeah, they're not your children anymore. Just because you made them, that means fucking zero. I mean,
in my household it doesn't, because I'm like, whenever my kids threaten to call CPS, I'm like, here's the fucking phone, here's the number, I'll even type it in for you, because, like, you know what, there's just one less fucking kid in this house I gotta worry about. Dial it.
One less mouth to feed you. I've taken my son to the police station. I'm like, here, you know what, this is where you're gonna end up. You want to keep lying? But, I mean, and Pete's right. Like, the more strict you are with them, the better they get at deceiving you. I mean, my son has become a fucking grade A liar. And I don't even know where the hell he learned that other than trying to get himself out of trouble and saying whatever he has to get himself out of trouble. I mean, he can turn on and off the waterworks. He can, like, look at you cold, dead straight in your eyes. And, like, and he didn't get that from me because I'm a horrible liar. So is my wife.
And I mean, at that point, what can you do other than let the consequences of his actions get to him?
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes taking away all the things that they love, or even breaking in front of their face the things that they love. Like I fucking like that mini PlayStation controller that I bought him, Rambo. You remember me telling you about that?
Mm-hmm.
Last lie he told was about that tablet. I took that controller and started swinging it around like a lasso, and I'm like, you better tell the fucking truth, or this thing's gonna connect with the kitchen floor. He still lied to my face, and it connected with the kitchen floor. Shattered. And
see, I can't do the breaking of, because the way I look at it is like if you do that, then you've taken away all incentive for them to actually be good.
Yeah, well,
because if they know that it's broken, they can't get it back. So therefore, like at that point, like who gives a shit, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's the first time I've ever done something like that. But I mean, after
I get being there because I mean you're so frustrated you don't know what the hell is gonna work. But
yeah,
like tonight, my son's 16 years old, and obviously, I mean he has. I guess his voice is just the way his tone of his voice is so fucking loud. And then you also have the fact that he has his headset on, and so it's even louder. But he'll go in there every day, and usually during the day, I mean, I let it slide, but like getting closer to nighttime, whenever the kids are going to sleep, I expect him to have at least one ear off, so that way he can hear himself.
Yeah.
You know, because if you just can hear yourself, you won't talk as loud.
Jesus.
What?
So Polygon's got an article. Discord is purging alt-right, white nationalist, and hateful servers, which that's bad enough. Who the fuck cares if they're on a Discord? But Discord and the Southern Poverty Law Center are working together to try and rid the platforms of hateful groups, a Discord representative said.
Well, the game talk is gone.
Dude, somebody needs to just shut the Southern Poverty Law Center down, because they are straight up a hate group masquerading as a group that exposes hate groups. I mean, Jesus Christ, they called Ben Carson, what was it? Ben Carson, who's the factual feminist based mama? Christina Hoff Sommers. I mean, they called them basically alt-right Nazis. Ben fucking Carson and Christina Hoff Sommers. The fuck do you go from that?
Yeah.
So that's just lovely. Yeah, RIP Discord. We're gonna have to find an alternate. So now, Facebook's gone, Twitter's gone, YouTube's gone, Discord's gone.
Just in time, the Twitch desktop app has launched servers.
Yeah, I forgot. Twitch is gone.
Because, but with my son though, like every single day, I'm happen to constantly go in there. Sometimes twice in the same day or the same night, to tell him to remove his fucking earpiece, like from one of his ears. And I kept on telling him, like, dude, if you're 16 years old, I should not have to tell you every day, like within a week of me telling you every day, it should just be a natural occurrence for you at this point. And so today I went in there and had it on both of his ears, like, oh, sorry. I'm like, dude, okay, tomorrow, as long as you don't have a clan meeting, you're offline the whole night. He's like, why? I'm like, because apparently you just can't get it through your head that I don't want to fucking remind you every damn day. So if I take away the one thing that you really, really fucking want, then you're going to get it through your head that, hey, you know what? Maybe I should, actually keep this shit in mind. And usually whenever I like fuck with his online gaming, it works because he'll get bored as shit. Like if I let him play online, he'll play right up until 2 a.m. Like whenever he has to get up. If I'm like the days that I'm taking away his online, he's off probably by like 9 or 10 and watching movies on Netflix because he just cannot stand to not play a game with other people in his fucking ear. So
That I don't understand.
I don't either. I like that generation of gamers. I just don't even fucking understand. Like,
That's yeah. It's fun to talk to friends and play a game at the same time, but I mean, it's not a necessity.
oh, with them, it is him. It is. I mean, like he cannot. It would probably take him. And mind you, I mean, like this is from him gaming from 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. Through the week, and then on the weekends from 6 p.m. till 2 o'clock in the morning. It would probably take him, and he doesn't miss a day, so it would probably take him about a month to 2 months to finish an Uncharted game. Because he'd play for a tiny little bit and then jump straight into a multiplayer match on Rainbow Six Siege or something like that. But he will not go a night without playing online.
Well, Chris, it's Women's History Month, so even the mediocre ones need love. So.
Apparently, they need special grants on Twitch.
I know, that's some bullshit. They're paying women streamers now that are starting out.
Yeah, I need to get on there and put on a trans woman.
You do, because they can't deny you. I mean, as long as you identify as a woman, go for it.
Well, yeah, they deny me because they just say that I'm not a woman.
Exactly. They don't want a lawsuit on their hands.
Planned Parenthood definitely listed out today. Planned Parenthood Kentucky tweeted up today that some men do have a uterus. I'm like, no, it's just biologically fucking impossible.
I don't know when we got a Women's History Month, Chris, but apparently that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Cyrus. I mean, so you can identify as whatever you want. Can you identify somebody else as whatever you want? They identify people as Nazis all the time, so I don't see why not.
I guess you could. I mean, but then you might get in trouble for, I don't know, misclassifying someone or whatever the fuck it is.
Well, that's the thing. They're always calling people straight white males. How come that's not misgendering somebody? How come they get to assume when you're not supposed to assume anybody at any time for any reason, but apparently they can. I don't fucking know.
Well, Blue Psycho, I know you have all those Hagen Dog pics because you send them to me periodically. So if you're looking for something for your little spank bank, there you go. Some men have a uterus. You never know. It's possible. Wasn't there like a pregnant man before?
But it wasn't a dude.
He was in the Guinness Book of World Records. Does no one remember that?
The what?
The pregnant man?
There was not a man. There was another transgendered woman that had. Yeah, they just hadn't removed the female parts, and that's the reason why he got pregnant, or she got pregnant.
Okay.
So there has never been an actual biological male impregnated.
That shit was in the Book of World Records or whatever, so that's stupid.
I don't know.
Xbox Live went down worldwide yesterday. Did you see that, Rambo? I'm sure you did. I mean, they said PlayStation had problems, but I don't know if it did or not. They were probably just saying that because Xbox was down worldwide.
Who?
Xbox was down worldwide yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah, but I mean, who? What? I mean, saying who? What? Saying what?
On Twitter, when you clicked on the hashtag to see the conversations about it, people were saying PlayStation had problems too, and I don't think it did. I just think they were saying that.
Oh,
you know.
no, PlayStation. Somebody tweeted at the. I guess there were some users that were experiencing problems, but like I wasn't. I was online the whole time, and whenever they were saying that, like I was actually talking to somebody about it, and they were like, "Well, PlayStation's down too." I'm like, so I went and looked at my. First of all, I went and looked at the PSN status, because they have like PlayStation has a website where you can check the status of the online, and all the services were up and running. And I sent that back to him. He goes, "You trust that website?" I'm like, "It's their internal website, so yeah." And he's like, "Well, I don't know. People are saying PlayStation's down." I'm like, "Okay, well then explain why I'm checking my friends list and everything else, and everything seems to be running fine. Like it, like." I'm not down. I don't know what to tell you. So I don't know. I think that they're all like the two sites are being DDoSed though a lot.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it didn't go down last year on Christmas like everyone said it was going to. So I personally think that these hacking groups that are new are looking to make a name for themselves. So that's what they're gonna do, like all the rest of them have.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's just like I don't know. Like people are complaining about the service being offline, but there's absolutely nothing you can do to prevent yourself from being DDoSed.
No, there really isn't. I mean, except like shut the traffic off completely, but then you're harming the people that are not DDoSing you.
Well, yeah, but I mean, then you're still down. So I mean, no matter what, then so I mean, there's absolutely no way to fight against it.
So you haven't been playing any games, Rambo?
I played Beyond Two Souls. I just finished it today. I've been on going back to the platinum on that one, and then I'll play Heavy Rain probably.
No quick, easy games? No point-and-click adventures?
I mean, I have some, but I just haven't played them yet. Yeah, I have about 143 easy platinum games that I have like in a folder.
Shit. Oh, Blue Psycho. Brim started his new job. That's why we haven't been on in about a week or week and a half. We're still trying to figure out something that works for everyone. I mean, and like Brim was gonna do a stream when he gets home at like midnight or 1 in the morning or something, but he's still adjusting to his new sleep schedule, so I wouldn't expect to see anything out of him for probably about a week. But until then, we're just gonna do what we can, and Wednesday and Friday worked for well over a year, so I mean, we'll just keep doing that if we got to. Sorry for what?
But y'all did see Detroit Become Human got a release date.
Yeah, that game looks so good. I may be even playing that one. I mean, that game really looks like it's something.
Xbox announced a new controller.
Oh yeah, that like Armed Forces looking one?
Yeah.
I mean, what's different about it other than the way it looks?
I don't fucking know. There's all this wrong different with it. That's why they have more control. They have so many fucking controllers. Like at this point, like what's the point in continually making them? Like I don't understand. Like why? Like I get that they're cool. Like to have, but to have as many as that they do, it's like you like almost like you might as well now at least start making controllers like that are wrapped with some, like, made it actual special, not just a different color with a grip scheme or something like that. Actually make, like that Black Panther controller, like, so actually make one of those and put that on the market to sell, not just some, like, green with a different grip and the little arrows and shit on it. Like, I don't know, it just seems to be that they've kind of gotten overboard with these custom controllers.
Dude, like, there's no way they make their money back when they make one of these custom controllers. There's no fucking way that many people run out and buy them.
No, I doubt that. I doubt that they do, because like, there's not that many Xboxes in the wild. I mean, I don't know if you consider 30 million a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't really.
It's not like a lot compared to like PlayStation and stuff, but it's still enough for them to make their money back on these custom controllers, and I'm sure they don't even come close to making their money back on them.
Well, yeah, I mean, if everybody that, that's what I mean. If that's the reason why I said there's not a lot, because it would take almost everybody that owned one of these Xboxes to buy one of these fucking custom controllers, I would think. And they make so many of them that you can't keep up with them.
And they're hard to find too. You can't just walk into a Walmart and expect to see the one you want. They might have a custom controller from God knows how long ago, but I haven't seen the Sea of Thieves one, or even this new one that, the tan one or whatever.
They keep putting it exclusive to Amazon or exclusive to GameStop and exclusive. Like, it's just, seriously, like, at this point, just stop. Like, focus on something else. Do something else. Make something else worthwhile.
There are still a lot of people that go into places like Walmart, Target, GameStop, and they want to buy something there, rather than wait for it in the mail.
Oh yeah, I know.
I mean, I love shopping online, but that's the worst part. I mean, that's what hinders me from doing it as much as I'd like to, is I'm an impatient fucking person. I don't want to wait for the mail.
I don't mind if it's a pre-order thing. I don't mind, because I can guarantee to get it. Usually guaranteed to get it on the release day. But if it's something that's already out, then I'm like, I'd rather buy it in the store, because then I can just get it, rather than waiting 2 or 3 days or whatever. I like to be able to just, if I want something, go get it.
Yeah, and like being in a place now, like, because, well, I know you have like several Walmarts where you are, Rambo, but this is my first time being near like several Walmarts, so it's not that, it wouldn't be that hard to go out and get what you wanted rather than, order it online. I mean, it's fucking controllers, man.
I don't know. Some people keep on saying that, wait on E3, wait on E3. I'm just like, at this point, like, aren't y'all tired of saying wait till E3?
Honestly, I'm tired of everything being announced at E3. Like, I want to expect something rather than see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell somebody, that it's no wonder that Xbox is kind of, at this point, like, more of like almost like forgotten platform whenever you go shopping, because for the most part, you don't know what's coming. Like, we know, like, supposedly State of Decay 2 and Sea of Thieves and Crackdown and Ori's coming, but we have no idea when at all, besides Sea of Thieves. But for the most part, like, they don't let you know anything, and so you don't have any sort of roadmap ahead of, I can buy this, and I know, like, in August, this game's coming out. In July, this game's coming out, and it's like a purchase that you can make counting on these games on these times. But like PlayStation, they had, like, we already know about God of War in April. We have Detroit Become Human in May. Like, you have like some sort of roadmap, and
then whatever comes at E3, great. You already got what you want, so it's all a bonus.
Yeah, so I mean, E3 is even more. Well, like, Microsoft just waiting till E3. Like, there was like, what, 40 some games that they showed last year.
Yeah.
We only have a release date for one, and that's Sea of Thieves. It's like
I
at
believe
this
we've
point,
only
like,
gotten PUBG. That's it. Like,
yeah,
I haven't seen any of the other games.
and it's like, what? Why not actually? I mean, I get that he doesn't want to announce a game and then ends up being canceled or delayed or whatever. Like even Crackdown was. Crackdown was delayed, and I get that, but
Sometimes you got to take that
saying,
chance. Fuck.
Yeah, not saying anything is like, to me, is like completely an ass backwards way of thinking, because people purchase these items with the idea that this game's coming. I have the money now, but I know that, this game is coming in this day, and I'll have the money for that game by then. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this now since I have the money. But without any this game's coming, announcements, it's like, why do you even spend the money on a purchase for a console? Like, I don't know. They've got to figure out what the hell they're doing. Like, I don't. Or at least convey like, if they don't really have that sort of plan to where they're going to do a bunch of first-party exclusives and be the Microsoft and Xbox that they used to be, then come out and say it. Just come out and let us know what your roadmap is, whether it is, whether you think we're gonna like it or not, but at least let us know what it is that we can expect. Because right now we're expecting you to be the Xbox of old, and you're not performing. So I don't know. I really wish that they would do something, because this quietness and shit like that is just, I don't know.
It really fucking gets to you. Like, I mean, I'm still counting. Like, rather than counting on what I know, I'm counting on surprises. And to me, that's backwards. I mean, ass backwards.
Yeah.
You should never count on a surprise. That's why it's a surprise.
Yeah, there's a guy on Twitter, his name is Chicken Spaghetti or whatever, and every year, man, the dude's like clockwork. I can expect great things at E3. Phil Spencer's buying studios and building IPs, and I'm like, what fucking studio has he bought? Well, he said it, and I'm like, he said it in 2015, and like, did you see anything different? No. I'm like, the only thing you saw was studios closed. So what exactly is it that you're praying and hoping for? Oh, I just have faith it's going to be a good one. That, like, we're going to have some surprises at E3. I'm like, I said, for your sake, man, I really hope so, because like, you've been saying this for 4 years, and you ain't got it yet. So I'm hoping this year is your year, dude. That's the only thing I can think of, because at this point, I'm just like, I'm tired of that. Wait till E3. Wait till E3. Wait till, man, E3 is going to be great. Wait till no. Dude, like, the gaming is more than just a fucking June time frame. I shouldn't have to wait to, like, from June to June to wait to know what the hell is coming to my platform.
It is. It's fucking stupid, man. I too, like, have faith. Like, it's not so much faith. It's like, it better happen. Like,
you just have a lot of hope that it's going to happen, yeah.
Like, I need it to happen. Like, I can't keep going, yeah, this is like the best fucking platform, and then not get anything, like, to back that statement up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a third-party gamer and you really don't give a shit about exclusives, then Xbox really isn't that bad of a platform. I mean, because you have all the third-party games coming, like that's like clockwork. But I mean, if you really do like exclusives, like that one game that that I guess has really been has been like put a lot of time and effort into, because of the fact that it's for that one platform. So the developers really know that platform, and you want that game. I don't know how anybody can actually truly be happy with the Xbox right now. And I'm not saying, I mean, if you're that type of gamer, I'm not, like, obviously there's people that aren't that type of gamer. And I couldn't even make people understand that if you have both platforms and you bought your Xbox so that way you could play exclusives, the stuff that you can't get on PlayStation, then you are completely unhappy. Like, there's barely any games that you can turn on your Xbox that I can't play on my PlayStation.
I tell you what, you ain't spending that much money. I mean, because There really is not that much.
Yeah, and people are like, well, to explain my 300 and some game. Well, motherfucker, those are all mostly multi-platform because I own every fucking Xbox One exclusive, every one of them, and they don't even total 100.
I still need Forza 7 myself, and I think I got them all. Well, and Recore. I've kind of held back on that one. I don't know why.
Man, it'd be better just for you to play that one on Game Pass.
Yeah, I was saying it because like it's only $9.99. I mean,
just hell, have you never signed up for Game Pass? Do the 14-day trial. I guarantee you'll delete that thing before the third day's up.
what is it, like a 20, 30-hour game?
It's not even that, dude. Like, you can beat Record in 8 hours.
Really?
Yeah. You can't 100% it in 8 hours. Like, I have 30 hours into it trying to 100% it, but yeah, I mean, I will never go back to the game to 100% it because it's just a piece of shit. But it had a lot of good things going for it. Like it could have been something, but man, I don't know what the hell happened. It just did not deliver.
Dude, and that's really disappointing because that was a different type of game for Microsoft.
Yeah, but I still say that Microsoft has a hand in like I guess micromanaging these studios, because there's been so many reports of like their old Rare developers and the old Lionhead developers coming out talking about how like they wanted a different idea, but Microsoft said no, this is what you're doing, and like kind of like guided them in a different direction. So it really makes me think that Microsoft is over there trying to like micromanage these smaller studios and these other studios working on their games, and it ends up being, Record or shit like that. I mean, Cuphead was good, but I mean, you're not going to sell a bunch of consoles based on an indie game, no matter how good the indie game is. I mean, it'd be like trying to bank.
Well, it has to be one hell of an indie game.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like it would have to be like shit, man.
Like Witcher 3.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be something like that if that was exclusive or whatever. But like PUBG or
I guarantee you, PUBG sold consoles. It may not be a bunch.
PUBG might have, yeah.
It did, but it wouldn't be enough to bank on a huge turnaround for the company. Like it, I mean, I'm sure it has moved some, but I mean, to make a difference in like where they're at, like I don't think it has done that. And speaking of PUBG, explain to me how a paid early access game that's only early access on one single fucking platform and a game working with a multi-billion-dollar corporation, namely Microsoft, is running worse than a early access free-to-play game that's across multiple platforms.
Talking about Fortnite?
Yes. How is it that one developer cannot focus on that one game and get that game running the way it should be? And the same, especially since he's being paid for his fucking game, but the Fortnite devs that aren't being paid for their game can get that game running across 60 frames per second across every platform, even the PS4 and base PS4 and the base Xbox One, and keep on adding things to it, seasons and everything like that. But they can't even get one fucking map working right.
Or they can't bring the other fucking map that's been on PC for a little while now.
But why would you bring that when you can't even get the one map working? Well, that means there's two things for them to try to work on.
The other one's in the desert. I bet they can optimize that one faster for console. There's not as much terrain
I don't know, And I mean, I get that people like PUBG more than Fortnite or Fortnite more than PUBG, and I'm not just debating on which one's better, but there's no denying that. I'm sorry, Epic might be a bigger company than Bluehole, but Epic's not working directly with fucking Microsoft or Sony. Like, they don't have the backing of these other multi-billion-dollar corporations to help them out with their one single fucking platform. I mean, Fortnite has already got another map, got seasons, got more different guns, got they just continually get updates like crazy, and they're actually good updates. PUBG has a single fucking platform to work on, and cannot get it right. It's one single fucking map. It blows my mind. Like I don't know. I don't know what's either Microsoft and everybody's full of shit on how easy it is to program for the fucking Xbox, or there's something going on. Like there's something just ain't right.
I guarantee you it comes back to what we've all said several times, is that they can't use just one damn operating system.
And that I still have no fucking idea as to why.
Well, I mean, think about it. That's got to be hard to fucking program for. I mean, can you imagine building a car with 3 engines? It doesn't work that
well, yeah,
way.
I mean,
they do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, but still, I mean,
it's not as easy as building one with the fucking straight 6 in it, right?
I mean, that blows my mind because, like, PlayStation runs a single operating system and games run just fine. I don't know why Windows thinks, well, we need 3 different versions of Windows 10 on this one system. Like, that says a lot about your Windows 10 or your Windows platform, is that it can't multitask. So you have to actually put in 3 of them to multitask, you know, for, like, instead of multitasking, we'll just give each one of them a single task.
Yeah, it is absolutely retarded.
I don't know. I hope things turn around. I really do, but I just don't see it happening.
I would not be surprised if one of those operating systems is for, like, strictly apps, like live streaming. I mean, something fucking pointless.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either.
There's a Blu-ray player fucking operating system.
There's probably the app environment, and then probably the game environment, and I don't know, maybe the third one is
the media
UI environment.
Maybe, or like maybe it's for like the backwards compatible.
I don't know, man. That this fucking blows my mind.
Because that's what Sony did with the Vita. The Vita had its own operating system, but then to play the PSP games, it actually had a virtualized PSP environment built into the console. So when you launched that
was more like an emulator, wasn't it?
Well, kinda, but I mean, I'm thinking that's more of what these 3 separate operating systems are. Is they're just different virtualization portions that get run depending on what you want to do.
Yeah, but you got to know
I haven't really looked into it.
You got to know that confuses the programming to some degree. I would think.
I don't know, and I don't know why they needed to do it. Like, I don't know what. Yeah, I'd have to look into the hardware and the software and figure out what it's all about, and I'm just not going to do that. So.
At this point, it's not even worth it.
No, because I'm not changing anything.
I mean, and what's it going to accomplish in the end?
In the end, I guess the only thing it's really going to be is you're just going to know exactly the reason why your system's fucking up. But you can't do shit about it. And I swear everybody calls me like the Xbox hater, but because I don't know, people act like the Xbox is some sort of gold, and I'm like, I don't know how I mean, it's a cool system for you, fine, whatever, but don't try to overplay your hand on where your system's at, like, because it's not in a good place.
See, I mean, that's something else too, is like people consider these platforms like theirs. Like,
yeah,
it's the same way they consider like football teams like theirs. It's like, okay,
some sort of emotional fucking attachments to them.
I didn't know that, you were on the payroll for Sony or Microsoft.
Yeah, people do that with all sorts of shit, though.
Yeah, somebody tried to say that whenever it was in that in our Facebook group, in our administrator chat or whatever, they were talking. I had said, Xbox is down or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, it's up for me." I'm like, okay, well, just letting you know because
you playing
alone? I saw it on Twitter, and they were like, and then he came back. He's like, "Well, PlayStation's down." And I'm like, no. And then all of a sudden they started saying, going, "Well, no, to you, PlayStation is perfect." And I'm like, no, Never said anybody's perfect. Simply just said they both have their problems, and then they want to start comparing. Well, PSN is down way more than Xbox Live, and I'm like, yeah, other than maybe like 2015, 2016 when Xbox Live was down more. It's like they both have their problems. You just can't admit that PlayStation has problems. I'm like, dude, y'all are like emotionally attached to y'all's fucking Xbox.
And honestly, if they knew who they were saying that to, you don't give a fuck about multiplayer gaming. So it's like, okay, yeah. It's down, whatever. It doesn't affect my day.
When it's PSN being down, I wish it less. I've never been a game because I'm always playing the single player games, and like I don't know, it just gets me. These people are attached to these that you can't even say something without somebody. You're
Rambo and Rambo, or
Rambo and Rambo,
right?
Robotic.
We're having internet problems here at the house. Fox can't figure out.
I mean, it happens so often, it might as well be Ramboing.
Yeah.
Bro.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Oh, I just say I can't wait for Detroit. Like it's gonna be like try to finish God of War, platinum it, and then turn around and then play Detroit. Like I'm really super ready for April, May.
You really think you'd be able to platinum God of War before Detroit comes out?
Well, I have a month, so I should be able to. Just depending on what the trophies end up being for God of War. Like that's one thing that could throw everything off is if they decide to put some crazy ass fucking trophies there.
Well, I mean, it's an exclusive. You see what they did with The Last of Us, which I mean.
Oh God, don't even remind me of that. But this system's not gonna have what's it called? Multiplayer, so I'm good at that.
You sure it won't have leaderboards or something?
It shouldn't, since there's no multiplayer to it.
Well, yeah, but like Batman, the Arkham series, like you had those challenge maps. You don't think God of War would have that? It's a similar gameplay style.
I don't. They've never had it before, so I don't see why they would have it now. Batman's more of an arcadey type game, like an arcadey action adventure type game, to where like those little challenges make sense. But God of War, in the sense that the way they're portraying the story and stuff, doesn't seem to be. It kind of fits more of like a Last of Us, and like a leaderboards on the Last of Us just wouldn't make sense.
Well, speaking of Batman, though, Rocksteady has been teasing the fuck out of a new game for quite some time now.
And yeah, just wish they would announce what the hell it is.
Exactly. Like, everyone's saying it's either Superman, Batman, Justice League, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Honestly, I don't give a fuck which one it is.
It's almost anything then, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
at this point, yeah.
I mean,
so they don't know shit then. Okay.
Really, I don't care which one of those it is. If it is one of those, I'd buy it and play it in a heartbeat.
See you later, Blue. And Chris, I don't mind helping you on The Last of Us. Like I was actually honestly trying to, if I could figure out if there was actually populated servers on the PS3 version. I was thinking about trying to platinum the PS3 version as well.
Is it a separate platinum?
Yeah. Yeah, any game that came from PS3 to PS4 has a separate platinum because of the difference in architecture.
It's always that silver lining, Cyrus, right?
I gotta drink my chocolate milk, man.
Chocolate milk.
Do you guys know Felicia Day?
I've heard the name before, but I don't know who it is.
She's that redhead that always plays the geeky characters on like TV shows and shit.
Yeah, still fresh out, man.
Yeah, she was the.
Let me look her up.
She was in Supernatural, and a couple others, but so she was part of the whole bandwagon with Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn, about the
Oh, I've seen this chick
On-
before.
Yeah, I've seen her
about
before. Yeah.
bullying and all that. So she posts this tweet, sad about social media becoming a pay-to-play world and the algorithm, in quotes, being so punitive that you're scared to post something not designed to please everyone because then your next post will be downgraded and you'll lose access to your fans. What happened? Bitch, are you for real?
They have no self-awareness that they're the ones
None.
causing this fucking the downward spiral of social media.
None.
Like somebody said that they were happy that what's it called? Well, he in the very beginning, like they put it on there that Alex Jones was kicked off of YouTube, and I was like,
trying to
like,
be.
I was like, that's not a good thing. And he's like, well, yeah, it is. That person is like nothing but espousing, rhetoric that is like poisoning minds and shit like that. I'm like going, but you don't silence people like that. That only makes them stronger. You actually turn around and counter them with fucking intelligence and facts. I was like, silencing them is not a good thing. I said, wait till it turns around and you're saying something that you think is factual and that you believe in, but somebody don't like it, so they silence you.
Yeah, let that person have their voice. You don't have to listen to it.
Yeah, I'm like, and if people that listen to them come into your feed and like talk about how the water is turning the frogs gay, well, then turn around and say, look, here's the science that proves you wrong. Actually counter with facts. Don't counter by saying, oh, well, you're silenced, because the only thing that does is like make the people that actually do believe him even more that he was actually, hit a nerve or hit a nail on the head.
If you have to silence him.
Yeah, then obviously there's something.
Yeah, you're just showing that you can't prove what they're saying wrong. You have to silence them, because otherwise you would just prove them wrong.
I don't know. I just like, and there were so many people that were liking that dude's tweet talking about it's better to silence him than to keep him on the platform. And I'm like, oh man, it's so mind-boggling that these people are okay with this, because eventually it's going to turn around.
Yeah, they never think it will.
And they're like, I just don't get it. I mean, like, just like what's happening like with Anita and that girl there, is like their ideology has turned social media into just a shitstorm. And now that it's actually turning around and affecting them, they're like, wait a minute, this ain't right. What's going on? Yeah. Well, yeah, dumbass. Like, you're the one who created this fucking monster.
You begged them to censor people, and now you're getting pissed that you're getting censored. Joking, right? Dude, I get the same thing on my Facebook groups when I was talking about like the Jeff Kaplan and all his fucking bullshit of monitoring social media outside of Blizzard forums and shit like that. And dude, swear to God, people are using if you have nothing to hide, well, if you weren't doing anything wrong, then you wouldn't have anything, or you wouldn't be afraid, or whatever that literally using that exact same line that fucking Goebbels used. Like, I can't even, man.
It honestly hurts.
It does. It hurts, bro. It hurts. Hurts my head, man.
And Gates was truly hoping that Far Cry 5
Rambo?
Hold on, let me see if I can switch the server real fast.
I don't know what to tell you, Cyrus. I mean, I didn't make him use that line.
I don't think he called SJWs Nazis. I mean, they pretty much are. I don't think he called them that, though.
I mean, I have. I have. Especially in those groups.
Rambo, you still there?
It has nothing to do with that. He said, this is the personal journey. He's like, this is the personal journey about, actually, you know, like the guy feeling all alone by himself, and whenever the guy was feeling alone, you know, he actually, you know, believed in God and like focused on his religion. I mean, it had nothing to do with the fucking current situation. And he said that some people are going to take it and run with their own narrative of it, but it has nothing to do with this situation. And that, like, they were really hoping that they were going to be able to get this guy's "I hate Trump" type thing, and it just didn't work out for him.
Like, the most painful part for me is like when I go to the grocery store or basically step out my front door. Like, you can't help but overhear some people's conversations. Is like when, especially my neighbor, right? Like, he's got it bad apparently because he's black. I'm like, all right, and that just like that fucks with me. And then you hear like people talking in the grocery store going, "Oh, fuck Trump! This is just the worst president ever." No, we've had worse. I'm not saying he's the best because he's not, but we've had worse.
Yeah, we had presidents that actually put people in internment camps and shit. I think Trump is not on the list of worse.
Like, he's bad, no doubt about it.
Cyrus,
it's not the worst though.
Cyrus, SJWs they're not so much like the full-fledged Nazis, but they definitely are a fascist regime.
I mean, they use all the same tactics.
The only thing they don't do is kill people.
Yeah.
And put them in internment camps. Yeah. I mean, just give it time, because there was a professor that at a college for Ben Shapiro that wrote a note on his door saying the only way to battle microaggressions is through macroaggressions. Talking about if somebody says words that you don't like, it's okay to punch them.
I mean, there were literally people talking about putting people into re-education camps because they didn't, you know.
I'm still waiting for them to shock gay people.
Whatever it was, though, like, you know, whether it was they didn't think that trans people were real women or whatever it was. But yeah.
It's so. Hey, Spark. Like, there's really not many like good characteristics about a woman besides, you know, that. So I mean, like, we have to, like, we're just highlighting, you know, the most important asset.
Yeah. Tonight is yoga pants. Maybe Wednesday will be sports bras or something. I don't know. But all month long, it's Women's History Month. And they probably invented yoga pants. I don't know.
Yeah. What are you saying, that women's butts are a bad thing?
They have clothes on. I mean, it's not like I'm posting porn.
Well, even if they didn't, though. I mean, is it a bad thing to have a picture of a woman's butt? Are you saying that a woman's butt is not something that people should like? That seems very anti-woman.
Swimsuits. Exactly. That's what we're going to do. But wait, I think the bikini was invented by a French man. So, I don't know. What about pubic grooming?
So an ex-Google recruiter says he was fired because he resisted illegal diversity efforts. And he's
suing YouTube.
Yeah, suing YouTube. And alleging he was wrongfully terminated after he complained about the hiring practices that were discriminatory against white and Asian men. So basically a recruiter now given the same treatment as James Damore.
Yeah, and they actually had said that they had a thing within YouTube that said, like, where the YouTube went around and told all the hiring managers to delete all their diversity paperwork that said that, you know, to focus on anybody but whites and Asians. and make sure they delete it so that way they can't get in trouble for it.
Jesus.
And somebody, like Philip Franco said, I just want to know what you think about this. Are you surprised? I'm like, fuck no. Like, I'm surprised this shit isn't just like a normal hiring practice these days. Like,
Well, if that's true, then it is.
well, no, I'm not to the point of it being a normal hiring practice to where you don't have to hide it.
Oh, I got you. To where it's not hidden. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's at this point, like that shit. If it was like that way when you go to McDonald's or something to get a job, it would not surprise me. Like I would just be like, oh, okay, well, at least you're following, the current, status quo. I really don't understand how anything based off of sex or gender is a good thing, or race. Like I had a conversation with on Titanfall's podcast last week where we were talking about how Phil Spencer went full SJW in his DICE speech, where he's talking about hiring people based and forming teams based on the fact that they're different colors of skin and different genders. And I'm like, that's the fucking dumbest idea.
That's segregation right there.
Yeah, well, it's like it's the dumbest fucking idea because if you take 3 white people and you can erase the white and put 3 black people or 3 Mexicans or 3 whatever. But if you just take 3 white people from different countries, they're going to be more diverse than a black woman, a trans woman, and a Asian from the Bronx. It's like they're going to bring more diversity to the table than your quote unquote diverse, group. I was like, you should never hire somebody if you're hiring somebody based on the color of their skin or the genitalia between their legs. Then you are, in fact, it's just racism. It's just a different form of it. Like I don't understand like how anybody can think that that's a good idea, and I don't know how we've gotten to this point to where that's acceptable. But merit, but based on your merits is a bad thing. Like to me, I'm gonna hire the person that's best suited, not dude like you're brown, so you're hired automatically. Like shit,
hey,
God.
Rambo, don't you know a meritocracy is a patriarchal white male tool of oppression?
What do I got to do to get a job, like a high-paying job, just because of I don't know?
Say you're trans,
right?
Now, do I get that tattooed, put it on a T-shirt and my driver's license? How's that work?
I think all you have to do is say you're trans. I don't know if they can actually, under their ideology, argue with the fact if you are or not.
That's what we should do. We should all go fill out.
Maybe you got to get the haircut or something.
We should all go fill out Google applications, and when it asks sex, you just put all of them.
Confused.
And then if we don't get hired, we could be like, oh, that's discrimination.
I don't know. Just the current situation we're in, it blows my damn mind. It just.
You can try and beat my ass, Go-Get, but that's the thing. I'm not the one saying it. It's feminists in academia who are saying that. Just to clarify.
Hey, Spark, are you trying to say that you're against gay people?
Oh.
Like, we are very pro-gay here. I mean, we have Shane on the podcast.
Nope. Nope.
I mean, we even allow him to host it, so that way.
Rim's at work. I thought we could avoid the gay thing just once, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Well, Spark is the one that brought it up, so I mean, that was,
Fuck you, Spark. Go-Get's pro faggot, is what he says.
Man.
I don't know. It's just the world we live in today is just.
So what about
we're in
Metal
a
Gear
downward
Survive?
spiral?
Rambo, you gonna play that one?
Oh, hell no.
Why not?
I won't support anything Konami. If it has Konami's name on it, it's not coming in my house.
Well, why? Because the Kojima thing?
Yeah, that and I mean, they they're a piece of shit company.
Other than the Kojima thing, what have they done? I mean, that's a pretty big thing, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, that's the only one I knew of.
And then not to mention the way they handled Kojima. Like that, no.
You know they make slot machines?
That's probably where they need to stick to.
Like, everyone's like on this loot box thing still, but Konami actually makes slot machines. So just direct all your negative loot box shit their way.
I mean, Konami, I think that's probably better. They probably need to stick with the pachinko machines that they make, because, I mean, it's not. I mean, first of all, Metal Gear Survive is not a Metal Gear game. It's just a zombie survival game with the Metal Gear name on it to try to sell it. But people aren't fooled, and you know I mean, I think the internet's pretty much standing up to. Or gamers are standing up to Konami, and they're not selling as well as, you know, what they thought they would, since it had Metal Gear attached to it. And yeah, they make you pay $10 for a second save slot. Like that, I don't know. I mean, if anybody's going to be talking about microtransactions, like, that's a fucking shit microtransaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it gets... I'd rather pay for a loot box than a second save slot, really, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, me too. Any day of the week.
I would buy Star Wars Battlefront 2 twice before I did that shit.
Yep. I don't know how... I mean, luckily, I mean, it was... I guess it was a number 2 seller on Steam for a little while, but like that, maybe during a time whenever there wasn't a lot of sales, because from what I understand... there's really not a lot of people playing, and a lot of people are, I don't know, some people are going, it's getting a lot of unnecessary hate. Like, no, it's not. It's a shit fucking game.
But WWE 2K18 found a way around that. You can earn loot boxes and stuff in the game that you can like get special moves and stuff out of them. And not every superstar wrestler in the game is unlocked with your purchase. You would have to earn their in-game credit and buy them. And that was kind of frustrating to me. I was like, well, that shouldn't be a thing. Like, maybe like some special wrestlers that are hella old or something. I can see that. So I started digging into it, because I've been playing it a lot lately. To see, like, if you could buy their currency with real money to go unlock these wrestlers, and you can't. So I was pretty impressed with that. But then I'm like, how? There has to be a shortcut to do it. Well, they sell a pass for $4.99 called the WWE 2K18 Accelerator Pack. You buy that thing, and it unlocks all of them. So I bought that thing.
Then you could have just played the game and unlocked it.
It takes forever. Like, forever. Like, you earn,
but
like...
it's not grinding if you're having fun.
I am having fun, but you can only play the same wrestler so many times before it's like, oh, okay, he doesn't do anything else. You know what I mean?
To be quite honest, I really don't know how you can play as 10 wrestlers. I've never understood the fascination of wrestling. I mean, back whenever I was a kid, I did. It was cool, but as an adult, I just can't. I just can't watch wrestling or anything about wrestling.
That is like a guilty pleasure of mine, like an old habit that just I can't.
Yeah, my dad does it.
Yeah.
My dad's like a faithful, like any sort of wrestling's on, he's watching it, and
I subscribe to the WWE Network and everything. I just can't.
Yeah, I'm just like when I see it, I just shake my head and go. Ugh. And then I see some people there's a guy named like, oh no, it's Alex, and somebody else that they're all into wrestling, so whenever they reply with a GIF, it's always a wrestling GIF. And I'm like, I just shake my head. It's like dude, you're a grown man.
How old is this Alex guy? Like, is he quite a bit younger than us?
I would say he's probably in his 20s.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
I actually have a problem with that then, because these kids or these people were not around to see wrestling when it was really good. They've only seen this new stuff, which isn't like horrible, but it's not the way it used to be. So they don't get half of these gifts that they're posting. So that part I have a problem with.
Yeah, I mean, he even like Chris just said the thing. He actually even titles like one of his like whenever he quote unquote like shows up a console peasant. He's like he's taking them to Suplex City. I'm like, oh dear God! Like you're
not
like
doing
you do
the
realize
suplex.
that
Your ass is not getting out of the chair.
like you do realize that you're a fucking adult, right? Like it's one thing to have a guilty pleasure and watch it, like, but to incorporate it into your fucking daily life, like, come on, man, that's like.
I mean, dude, I like tell the people at the pharmacy to suck it all the time when they say we don't have your medicine. Like,
You like just do the X around your nuts, like suck it. Oh God, I can just see.
It's
dude. If you can't sleep after listening to BG stream, I don't like you. Like you need some fucking help.
BG
that
or
motherfucker.
Big Gamer Small Talk or whatever, because
no BG.
Oh well, both of them can put me to sleep.
So. BG like puts me the fuck to sleep. Like that dude. Oh man, like he's just talks in one monotone. Unless you know he's playing a game and he's getting pissed because somehow the other team is playing as a team instead of a one-on-one type match. But yeah, like him just talking about like the news and shit. Like I mean, the like, gaming news. Like I don't know how the hell that motherfucker ever got popular.
Other than the Donald Trump deal talking about violent video games and Detroit getting a release date, Microsoft releasing another fucking controller. I mean,
well, PlayStation
really
Plus.
What about their free games?
Yeah, their free games this month is Bloodborne and Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, that is an absolute fucking home run. They couldn't have done better.
Yeah, like that. I mean, they made Xbox kind of look like. Did Xbox give away games? Like, is it because it was like night and day compared to the quality? But people were like, I wrote an article talking about big games and big announcements or whatever, and somebody's like, why are you clickbaiting that? Like, those aren't big games. I'm like, shit, they aren't. Like, those are some really big titles. Like, I can rent them and like for or buy them at Redbox for. Who gives a shit? It was like if Halo 5 and Gears 4 was on at Games with Gold, it would be a big fucking month. Regardless if I can go pick them up for $10 now, like it doesn't matter what the price of it is, and if that's the case, then don't fucking subscribe and just go buy the fucking games.
I know, right? I mean,
but the PlayStation is making changes though that starting in March of next year, PlayStation 3 and Vita games are no longer going to be offered, and they're narrowing it down to just 2 PS4 games.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, it's bound to happen. I mean...
Why with the Vita, though? That's the thing. They don't have another handheld. So
Well, because the Vita's still a dead... I mean, they've stopped support for the Vita. The only people that are supporting the Vita is...
Do you still play
Well, they
yours,
did that
Rambo?
because it was... Huh?
Do you still play your Vita?
I mean, for like easy platinums, but I'm not going to play
the shit out of it.
I'm not going to play a game for playing a game on it.
Do you still play yours to this day, Pete?
Yeah, actually, the last couple weeks I've been playing the shit out of what's that twin stick shooter where you break up the asteroids? There's two different kinds. No. There's two different kinds. One's fire and one's ice. Your little ship that goes around the planet.
Oh, I have no idea. But Resogun's a badass game.
It's a really cool little twin stick shooter. But yeah, I played, and then I was playing. I just played Delta. What is it? Soul Sacrifice Delta the other day too. That's a great game.
the only thing I can probably think of is because that, like, I figured that if the PlayStation 5 isn't being announced next year, then
I
they're
don't
going to
think it will
focus.
be.
Then they're going to focus their money that they were paying towards these older titles to put on there towards like making the two PS4 titles to be bigger AAA games. But see, I have a feeling that the PlayStation 5 might be announced at the beginning of next year, like early on next year, and then released. Yeah, well, I mean, it's the time frame is right.
These consoles have only been out, what, 5-6 years?
Yeah, the average life of a console is 6 years.
Yeah, but fucking last gen was like 10 years. I want that shit again.
The only reason last gen was 10 years is because of the financial crisis we were in.
Well, damn it. I at least want 8.
I don't think you're going to get 8, bud.
I don't see, like, with the Pro and the X, I don't see the point in announcing another console anytime soon.
Well, I mean, I can agree with you on the X because the X just came out, but the Pro is like 2 or 3 years old. So, I mean, it's only a matter of time before those, and they never made it like mandatory that you upgrade,
So
and they never really
mandatory that they upgrade then.
Nah.
And then optimize all future games for that console.
See, I don't even the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X isn't it isn't the jump that's needed because the Xbox One X will always be hindered by that fucking CPU.
Yeah, but like, really the new console, the brand spanking new consoles that both these companies could come out with, really you think it's a jump that's needed? Because I don't. The Xbox now, if you're an alpha member, which I'm pretty sure you are, I know I am, you can download the update where it supports 1440p now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, when it comes to like the jump that they can make, I mean, I mean, obviously they're going to get a better deal than what is going on right now with the GPU market, but I mean, there's some pretty powerful GPUs and CPUs out there that they could use that are relatively cheap, especially since they stick with AMD.
Well, the Ryzen APU, man, because they're not limited to system RAM the same way PCs are.
Yeah, so I mean, like
so they could build a gangster system with a good Ryzen APU.
I don't think we're going to see the jump like say there was from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3 or like that. But I think we'll see a jump in more of a solid frame rate, maybe all games being 4K, something like that. But
well, like here's my thing, and I'm almost positive Rambo will agree with me, at least with Xbox. Phil Spencer has done nothing but harp on this Xbox One family, where you can have the OG, the S, or the X, and all your shit works. So if next year or the year after he goes, hey, but check out the Xbox 2, everything he's done is fucking worthless, and it's only going to make the Xbox brand as a whole, I think, sell less.
In a way, but I mean, I still say that like what he's probably gonna plan on doing is when he brings up the Xbox 2 is everything from the X and the 2 are gonna work together. So he'll make you upgrade, but you'll get to choose between the new Xbox or the Xbox One X, and they'll still work across across the board.
But he said there would never be exclusives for the X. And although it wouldn't be for the X,
well, there'd be a new generation, so he really wouldn't be. He wouldn't be lying that there wouldn't be exclusive for the X because I mean it would be on the Xbox 2 and the Xbox One X. So I mean it would be. He wouldn't be lying. It'd just be. I mean, I can understand like your frustration, but I mean at the same time, I don't see Xbox bringing out a console too soon because I mean, like I said, they just literally launched the X. Like
Shadowkin, you are tripping, bro. That is
It
not
would-
going to happen for a long time.
it would be hard for them to try to sell another console, like say next year, when they just released the X last year.
Yeah, I mean, and the
Like
X
that.
hasn't even reached. What's the sales numbers for the X? Has it gotten to 1 million yet?
There's no way to tell because they combine them all together, so there's no way to. And we really have no idea what the hell the.
I'd be willing to bet that it won't reach 1 million though until like halfway through this year after tax season.
Oh yeah, I mean like the rate of ownership, like the ratio probably isn't all that great. Like it's the majority of the 35 million is definitely on Xbox One and Xbox One S.
Like honestly, I mean, $500 is a lot of money to just go. Oh, I want a new video game console. That's
Yeah, but I mean if I'm thinking what they'll do is that when they do finally bring out the Xbox 2 or whatever the hell it's called, is they'll lower the price on the X to a good entry level, like maybe even $399.
so it'll
And
be
so
like
that
the
way-
Fat Boy is now.
Yeah, so basically what it would be like is that a brand new console they could launch at 600 if they wanted to, but they still have that Xbox One X that you can still get all the games on the new console, but it's that entry price point that is a sweet spot at $399.
Then what would be the difference with the new console? I mean, the same thing that's the difference now between the S and the X?
It'd probably be like just a more steady frame rate, not crippled by the idea of a CPU,
Maybe
the weaker
more
CPU.
multitasking features.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe they're setting up like the streaming service and shit like that. So
Shadow, what's the point of 4K and 144 frames if you don't care about what the graphics look like?
All right, guys,
If
I
it's-
have to go pick up my wife. I could be 20 or 25 minutes. Do you want me to leave the stream going? Or
yeah, that's fine.
you sure?
Yeah, I
All
mean,
right. I'll be
yeah,
back
we're gonna-
then.
All right.
and Xbox guy, simply because PlayStation has already said there will be a PlayStation 5. Like they've already confirmed that there is, and Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red has confirmed that Cyberpunk 2077 is a next-gen title. So they've already got the information of what to expect, at least, on the next generational consoles. So they're already working on that game to actually work on those consoles. So I'm not sure as to why you don't think there's going to be one, considering like there's everything pointing to one. I mean, it's all been confirmed. I mean, it actually has been confirmed by PlayStation, but I mean, Cyberpunk wouldn't be working on a next-gen Xbox game if there wasn't going to be a next-gen Xbox.
Spark, I do not believe there is a 4K 144 hertz panel. I think the highest I've ever seen a 4K is 120, and that's that new. Is it Asus? What was the one that was at CES? The 60-inch 4K G-Sync,
I don't know.
and I think it was 120 hertz. Yeah, I don't think, but I do not believe there's a 144 hertz 4K panel.
And Xbox guy, how is that not definitive reasoning whenever a company that makes the console has came out and said, yes, there is going to be another console? It's like it doesn't get any clearer than that. Like, if you were to thinking, well, are they going to make a new Toyota, Celica? And Toyota comes out and says, we are working on a Toyota Celica, a 2018 Toyota Celica, or 2019 Toyota Celica. Chances are that there's going to be a 2019 Toyota Celica. I mean, I get you on the Xbox side. I mean, I was going off of just like CD Projekt Red, but like PlayStation has definitely came out and actually confirmed. Are you kidding, Chris? He actually has an account called PlayStation Guy. And why would Sony? Well, because that's what happens. Like everybody was saying the exact same thing about the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 when it was around for 10 fucking years. People were still going, why would they need more? Why would they need another console? I'm happy with it's just the people's thought process on it is because they don't want to spend it just like, Shane was talking about. They don't want to spend another $400 or $500, depending on however much it costs, for another console. So they kind of come up with justifications as to why it's not needed. But I mean, it's just the cycle of the way games are. I mean, I get you. Like, I think that PlayStation 4 could be around for 10 plus years and be fine. But
oh no, Rambo. Where'd you go?
But they're setting it up now for Horizon Dawn Zero 2 or whatever, and Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding and all that to be coming out as a PlayStation 5 launch title, and that's one hell of a lineup. Who? What?
Yeah, you went quiet there for a hot minute.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking.
Yeah, you roboted a little and then went silent for good half a minute, something like that. Shit happens.
It's my damn internet. Like I keep on. I got a text from my internet company that says we are working to resolve your service interruption. We will send an update about your resolution at 7:30 a.m. I'm like, how about within an hour or two after the service interruption, not the next fucking morning?
Yeah.
AJ Caesar, I think we're gonna see more Ghost of Tsushima, whatever, at E3. I would think.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, Cyrus. That could be just the way that Rambo talks.
No, I don't talk like a robot.
But how do we know for sure?
Well, because y'all heard me not talk like a robot.
Well, you could just be turning it on and off.
That's a lot of turning on and off.
Yeah.
I'd be spending more time talking out of robot than I would be in robot.
Could be a trick.
Wouldn't it just be easier just to talk in robot every single time I'm on the internet, so that way I could just blame it on my internet the whole time?
Unless you were an AI. You're trying to fool us.
Yes.
But you can't do it all the time. It's you error, and then you go into robot mode, and then you've got...
I programmed myself into my phone, and that's what it is.
Yep. Gotcha.
Oh my god, seriously, the Xbox guy, you didn't just use the fucking word teraflops, did you? You do realize that teraflops mean absolute fucking shit, right?
I didn't teraflops. Where's teraflops?
He said, I can understand if the Xbox One or PS4 couldn't run games, but you're dealing with teraflops of hardware. It took 10 years to reach that point before. No, it didn't take 10 years. Like,
yeah, it really didn't.
The only reason last generation took 10 years is because we went through a financial crisis. The stock market crashed. That's the only reason. People just weren't spending money, so PlayStation and Xbox knew that if they launched another $400, $500 product, that there was nobody going to go out and buy it. Because they weren't even buying $100 products back then. Like, it was quite a thing. But teraflops, seriously, there's a what, like, you can help me out on this, Pete. There's a AMD card. It's like, what, 24 teraflops? Something like that, some outrageous fucking number. And the actual NVIDIA that has less than actually does better, performs.
I don't know which one does.
I can't remember which one it was, but I know there's an AMD.
It's gotta be like a.
Well, hell, even the Vega. What is that? The Vega has like what, 18 teraflops or something like that?
Something like that. It's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and it actually runs like the 1080 Ti that has 11 teraflops outperforms it as far as graphical.
Depends though. Some on certain games. Yeah.
For the most part. And so, like, teraflops doesn't indicate that your system is the better system. Like, that's just I don't understand, like, why all of a sudden y'all became these tech guys that, and the only thing y'all can speak of is teraflops, and if it's a bigger number, then it's got to be better. But go study some fucking PC parts if you want to actually understand what the fuck a damn teraflop is and what it actually computes to. Jesus. No, sorry, Xbox guy, I'm not triggered. And that's not very easily. I just get tired of people like pretending to be fucking tech guys, and the only thing they can come up with is my number's bigger than yours. Oh, go back home with that shit. Like, there's two, like, PC parts aren't that fucking like black and white. If that was the case, there would be no gamer using a NVIDIA card. Everybody would be using AMD because they, like, their teraflops are bigger. And again, we can even go back to teraflops. You want to do that? Y'all have a, 6 teraflop system, but name me one game on the Xbox One X that actually looks better than Horizon Zero Dawn on a 1.8 teraflop system.
Yeah. Okay. That's enough with that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, I just get tired of hearing teraflop, but too many fucking people have just became tech guys.
Yeah.
But it's gonna, like, we're gonna get, like, the new systems aren't going to be focused on, like, graphical, like, this huge graphical improvements. They're gonna be more focused on performance improvements because the Pro and the X have got the graphical part down, and now they're gonna, like, the next ones, I would imagine they were trying to balance out the two and bring them all together. But we're getting to a point to where I think that we're getting close to a point to where I think we're going to be looking at modular consoles here soon, because it's the only thing that's really going to, like, these companies are going to have to continue R&D for quite some time and with a lot of money, that I think that we're going to get to a point to where either a streaming console or a modular one to where we can, upgrade it as we go.
I mean, it only makes sense because you can't keep doing this where you release a console and then a couple years later you release a hardware refresh, and then a couple years later it's either another hardware refresh or the next generation. People don't like spending that kind of money.
Well, I don't think that it's that we don't like spending that kind of money because we're used to it, any console gamer.
I mean, not that often, though. That's the thing.
Well, it has been that often. I mean, now, not the mid-gen refresh. Now, but if you look at it, the numbers, I mean, quite a lot of people didn't do the mid-gen refresh. Like, it was there as an option, but for the majority, like, none of the majority has the mid-gen refreshes. And so, for the most part, like, Shane and a lot of other people are still operating on their 2013, 2014 hardware. And so majority of console gamers are, like, accustomed to I guess the older generation, they're accustomed to the every 6 year, 7 year cycle. But usually though, with every console generation, we see some sort of like, oh man, like this is what I've been waiting on, like, this is the way that I wish. I mean, now I want to go back and I want to see this game, running on this system, because of the differences. We're getting to a point now to where there's not really that much differences to be made as far as like graphical quality or I mean, the only thing that really can be made is like performance quality, really, because like the games really look almost ultra realistic, you know. Up to a certain point, you know. But I don't know. It just seems like that. Like I don't. I like. Yeah. Do you think we're going to see a PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3 leak ever again?
Depends on what hardware they go with.
Well, I mean, I guess if they went all out, then they could.
Yeah, that's the thing. If like
shit, that's a big risk for a console company to make.
I don't. For Xbox, it would make sense because they're already in with AMD, and Ryzen is doing really well.
So I mean, both PlayStation and Microsoft are in really good with it. So I mean,
but PlayStation doesn't have the same chip that Xbox does, right?
Yeah, they do.
Is it?
Not now that the X is out, but the PS4 and the Xbox One has pretty much the exact same chip. They're just clocked differently.
It's the same like not part number or anything, but it's the same like generation.
Yeah, same generation.
Okay, I didn't know if PS4 had that one or if it was a different one.
They both have. They're both actually the X and the APU. The X and all the PS4s and all the Xboxes are all using the exact same generation Jaguar CPU in it.
Ah, okay. Jaguar. So I mean, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, they're both like right there with AMD. Then, so I mean, like I guess like if they could work out a deal with AMD,
and that's what I was thinking. Like, because that new Ryzen APU would be a great. I mean, that's a huge upgrade.
Yeah, I mean I could see that, but.
And Ryzen is doing really well, and that APU. I mean, that APU is so super cheap. What is it? $230, I think.
Yeah.
And plenty of people are getting that thing. The GPU part to clock at like 1650.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, if you did that, then yeah. But I mean, it would be hard for me to see that any of these console companies go with the latest, you know, hardware, because that usually just doesn't happen. We always end up getting the one generation or two generations behind, yeah, because that's where the cheaper thing is. But I don't know. Maybe since they're booming, consoles are booming right now again, that AMD would be more likely to cut a better deal with the newer hardware to get that out there.
Well, I would see it. AMD would see it as being big thing for them too.
Well, yeah, because it'd be big promotion for them. Yeah,
exactly, and that would get all gaming platforms would then be being coded for the Ryzen and Vega architecture, which would just help out all of them. Because
I mean, it would also entice get PC gamers seeing the performance on the PlayStation and the Xbox.
Yeah.
But then turn around and go, okay, well, I know I can get better performance if I put it in my PC. So, you know,
not just that, the coders are going to be programming for the same parts.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, the games when they get ported over are going to be a lot better working on
Wouldn't
the
be
same
this
exact
crappy
hardware.
port where they get it running, but it's chunky or whatever. Yeah, that's why I think this generation would be the one to do it, and I could see AMD really wanting to push that because they've been trying to do that. They've been pushing a lot of they've been getting FreeSync and all those other technologies where they just make it open source.
Yeah, that and they're at the brink now to where they're starting to get a really positive name for themselves.
Right.
So it would just re-solidify that. And then Ryan, that is the problem. Is the developers they're always going to choose graphics over performance, and because I mean for the most part, I mean, yeah,
esports titles maybe there are some exceptions, but yeah, for the most part, they always
Well, I mean, because gamers are going to want to see that graphical improvement. They're not going to want to play a 360 game that runs at 60 frames per second, more so than a Xbox One game that runs at 30 to 40. I mean, it's just the way. When you buy new hardware, you're going to want to see that improvement.
You can't put frame rate on an ad on TV or something.
Yeah, and so I think that if the next generation, like what we were saying, goes with the Ryzen Vega APU, then the developers would have kind of a free reign to do graphics and performance. But that's really the only way they're like to go with the Ryzen Vega APU is the only way that they're really going to make it. I got to have that next system, because if you just go with a regular, like a lower end APU, like you're going to, like, it's just going to be a small little upgrade where you're, instead of playing games at 30 to 40 frames per second, you're going to get 60, but you're still going to get the same graphical output. And it's just really not going to be worth another $400 or $500, purchase at the time. So I don't know. I mean, and then it also goes back to just like what I was saying about like Horizon Zero Dawn and Sony Santa Monica and Naughty Dog. Is some developers are just capable of like making magic out of some of the shittiest hardware, and so. But of course, the masses aren't like that. I guess all of them. So I mean, you really got to build one that is going to fit for the masses, and then allow your those little one-offs there, here and there, just kind of make a wow time with the system. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens and when it happens. I just have a feeling it's coming soon. The market's in a really good place. People are spending money, and I think it's a prime time for another console to launch as far as average years and the amount of money being spent right now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it announced next year. I would be for the Xbox, because they just, like I said, a year and a half after launching a $500 console would be quite early to launch another $400 or $500, item for sure. Now, Sony did, which kind of like scares my wallet, but Sony came out and said starting April of 2017, they are going to be doubling down on their first party output. Like, we already have a shit ton of exclusives coming from PlayStation, like every year. I don't even know what it's like to. I was kind of figuring they were doubling down already, because it's just like one after another after another. But shit, if they start, if like they're just now doubling down, I don't know if my wallet can handle it. And I don't know what that means, like, because you already have your studios. They're making their games. You can't make them make more games, because. So I mean, are they just going to be like making new studio? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what that means. Because like Horizon Zero Dawn, like and God of War, when they launch, you can't make them turn around and get a game out next year. It's just not going to happen. So they'll have to, if they're doubling down, they'll have to actually, expand their studio list, which is a good thing too.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully some new IPs maybe.
Yeah, I'm hoping. That's been one of the refreshing things about this generation, is that the number of new IPs that we've got, like Bloodborne, Detroit, Horizon.
It's kind of weird, because it's been both stagnant and
booming. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's been not a whole bunch, but there's been quite a few new IPs, but they're kind of select and very good, but not a whole lot of them. And then there's also been a whole lot of just the same sequels that we've seen from, everywhere else.
Yeah, that and the remasters and
yeah, tons of those and stuff.
But I mean, I don't know, whatever they're doing this generation seems to be working to where they can balance it out to where you're not just constantly getting remasters or just, half-assed, games, but you're getting a good balance of good games, remasters, and new IPs. So
yeah,
I hope it continues on in that direction. If they're doubling down, I just hope that we see even more new IPs, because that's some of the coolest shit, to be able to play a game that, like with Uncharted 4 or Halo 6 or whatever, you kind of know what to expect.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you've already played the previous games. You you're just looking
Even if
at
they
it
go
like,
in a new direction, there's
yeah.
still it's going to be somewhat familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, unless it's like this God of War thing where they're completely revamping the whole direction the game went and the whole gameplay, everything about it. See, God of War coming up in April, even though it's not a new IP, it feels like a new IP because of the whole direction they're going. The only thing familiar is that, Kratos. The rest of it's all new. But for the most part, most of these games, like when you hear an Uncharted, Halo, Gears, God of War, any of those coming out, you kind of know what to expect. But the new IPs are always so fun because you just look at like going into Horizon, you never knew like what the gameplay was going to be like. You just saw them, on TV or whatever, and it was just it's a fun experience to experience a game for the first time and it be a good game. And so I hope to see new IPs from both, Microsoft and Sony, going into the next generation, and even hopefully we see something out of Microsoft come this E3 to where like not just the games we know coming, but we see some new IPs being announced, or at least, hey, we're working on this and this is coming next generation or whatever. But at least they have something to excite us, to make, okay, look, we're not getting just Gears, Halo, and Forza. We're getting, whatever this game might be.
Yeah, Xbox guy, the Wii was not a $400 console.
Oh God, no. I think what was that like? Wasn't that like $299 at the most?
I thought it was like $189.
It might have been. I know it was pretty cheap because it was really easy to get. Like I didn't have
really cheap. So I think that's the one. It was marketed as like a party and a family console. 2, it had because it wasn't the most played thing on there, like the fitness shit.
Yeah, but I mean, because it was used in hospitals and shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, they had the extra thing of it being you could use it for fitness or you could use it for that kind of stuff. And then 3, it was the cheapest console of all of them, and I think that really helped it selling 100 million, especially when at the time it was a big financial crisis.
What was he saying? Like because you're talking about the Wii. Like, no, bud. Like,
Crash didn't stop the Wii from selling 100 million, except
Well, first of all, the Wii came out like right around the same time. Like, it wasn't too long after the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 launched. It was, but look at here you go. Look at the Wii U. Like, the Wii U came out during the fucking the financial crisis, and it didn't do well. I mean, there's multiple factors more than just the stock market crash or whatever, but that definitely played a part in it because it was what, $2 or $3.99, and people just weren't going out and spending that kind of money. I mean, they were spending that kind of money, but they weren't doing it on luxury items. They were doing it on stuff that they actually needed. Like if their TV went out, yeah, they went out and got that. But they weren't going out going, well, I already have a TV, so I just want to buy another $300 TV for my room. Like, I'm not, hashtag not all. There was, some people doing it, some people that could afford it. But for it was like the stock market crash back then really hurt a lot of people, a lot of the middle class. And again, Xbox guy, you're still like, by the time that they sold 80 million and they really picked off, the base console, like the PS3 Slim and the Xbox whatever they call it, because there were so many fucking different versions of the 360. Those were actually a cheaper price than what their launch prices were. So I mean, there's a big difference with like those selling at. I think whenever the PS3 ended, it was like at what, $199. There's a big difference in spending $200 on something than spending the $600 launch price. And that's the reason why they didn't come out with one. But the secret sweet spot for console purchases, I think, is around $400. And that's why I say it's going to be tough for them to get the Ryzen Vega and still stick within the $400 price range. Because for the $500 price range, it seems like they really got to go the extra mile to make you realize that it's worth it.
Yeah, I don't know how much because there isn't like a consumer version of the Jaguar, is there?
From what I understand, the consumer version of the Jaguar is like some sort of mobile chip.
Yeah. There's no.
So I
It's
don't
not
even
like
know what that.
there's no PC equivalent
No,
or
no,
anything, right?
no,
Where like
they just have.
The Ryzen APU costs 230, so if the Jaguar APU costs $100 and Xbox is paying this amount for it, then we can kind of extrapolate what they might pay for
Yeah.
the Ryzen APU. But yeah, there's no equivalent that we could point to that's got an actual consumer price for it.
Yep.
So I don't know. Although they could, because what's the Jaguar chip running at? Is it like
2.3 or something like that, or 2.4, something like that.
something like that? And I think the One X is like 2.8.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not. There is a 2 point of the.
And that's really low. If they could deal with AMD for a less fast APU, because I think the APUs that the $200 one is like a 3.8 or something like that.
That would still be a big jump from where they're at.
So if they could, but and Ryzen runs a lot better, because the Jaguar I think runs something similar to like either the Bulldozer and the other like architectures of back then.
Yeah.
So like, because my Bulldozer, I had that thing cranked all the way up to like 4.6 gigahertz, and my Ryzen runs fucking twice as fast, even though it's only running 4.0. So
Yeah.
if they could get AMD to make them a Ryzen APU that's running like maybe 3.0, not only would it be, I mean, or even just the 2.8 of the Xbox One X, or something like that, it would still be way faster, because the Ryzen architecture runs a lot better than the Jaguar.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're not going to stick with the same GPU that's like the X, but if they did, I mean, they could still do a lot of things with that if they had a faster CPU. Because the CPU really will limit the APU quite a bit, especially like for games like PUBG that run CPU intensive.
Well, if they use the Ryzen APU, it's got the Vega chip built into it.
Yeah, so I mean, that you'd be good on that. They could even get a more cost-effective Ryzen APU.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Deal with AMD because I'm sure.
Well, we know it's going to be AMD, because there's no way they're putting NVIDIA inside of a home console. I mean, none of us want to spend $1,000 on a fucking console.
But make a deal with them because I'm sure AMD would like a way to use like maybe some of the chips that don't quite make it for the PC market.
Mm-hmm.
They can't hit 3.8 gigahertz or whatever the number is.
Yeah. If they have like some that are like 3.2, 3.5, yeah, make them into the APU, and I guarantee it would be and if you have the Vega, even the lower end Vega in there, it's still going to be a night and day difference compared to this older parts that we have, not architecture, but the older parts.
I can't remember what the equivalent is in that Jaguar.
I don't think I know. It was like a back in the FX range or whatever.
No, I meant for the GPU part.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember what it's comparable to, but it's
something old.
Yeah, way old.
Yeah, like it's something that like most people aren't even using in the PC right now.
Because I'm pretty sure like my old 290X was twice as powerful as the graphics part of that Jaguar chip, but I can't remember. I don't remember the specs on it.
Cyrus, if Konami, like as much as I hate Konami, if they paid me, I'd be like prostituting myself out to Konami every fucking day. Like there's just, no way. Like I'll do anything for money, man. I mean, I might hate myself, but at the end of the day, I'm still being paid. So,
fucking whore.
What is it? Go get. What is it that I'm right or wrong about, or whatever? I didn't see that conversation as far as like the charts, because I don't remember bringing up charts.
What chart are you referring to? I think he's looking at the charts, which doesn't help any of us. We can't see your charts, Go get. Is that for the
Oh, the
is that for the Wii U or is that for the Wii?
No, I think he's talking about like the PS3. Like how I said that whenever like the sales went up for the PS3 and the 360 as the price went down, and so I think that's what he's saying is he looked at the charts and saw the majority of those consoles sold were sold after like the 5 year mark or whatever, or not the 5 year mark, but after the 5 million.
360. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean that makes sense to me because I mean even this generation, the majority of the sales came after the price has gone down. I mean that's just
Well, that's
most
just about
people if they can
everything.
hold out. Yeah, if most people
Yeah.
can hold out, they're gonna hold out. There's not a whole lot of quick
parts.
adopters.
Yeah, PC parts, doesn't matter what it is. There's
Yeah.
the hardcore guys who just, you know, like me maybe for this generation, who buy it as soon as it comes out because they want the new stuff or whatever
Yeah.
for whatever reason. And then you give it a year and then the price drops a little bit, and then the not quite so hardcore guys, they buy it, and then you wait a little longer and the price drops a little more, and then, you know, a whole bunch of people buy it.
And Xbox guy, if you understood like what we were talking about with the crash market, and I get that y'all are young, so I mean it's kind of y'all haven't really been through a bunch of these like market crashes and seeing how it affects your wallet and been the adult during the time, you know, responsible for shit. So if y'all went through it before you'd understand that 5 million in that yeah, that's a good number, but like it in a stock market boom, like back whenever it was actually booming and what it's doing now. Well, you see what it's doing now. Like look at the PlayStation 4 and like selling 20 million 4 years after it launches.
I was gonna say, didn't like what was the first year of the PS2? Didn't that thing sell like?
Oh, I think that thing sold. Yeah, that thing sold like wildfire.
Like 20 or 30 million in the first year. Yeah, it was a big insane. Fucking difference. Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same. Like
difference.
When people have money to spend, the extra money, and that they do that by the stock market. You can tell usually by the stock market. You'll see a big increase in sales, and just pretty much any market. It's not just the console market, but most of the stuff, like instead of groceries, because that's a needed item, but more of like the luxury items is where you'll see the like purchases happen. If you go to like the car lots, whenever it's the same thing, like whenever it comes tax time. If you go to car lots, you'll see more empty spaces in there from sold cars than what you will during the winter months, because more people are having money during that the tax season. Same thing whenever the stock market's going, you'll see more cars, more luxury items will be being purchased. And it's not like that people don't go out and buy stuff. It's that not as many because of the fact of the middle class and the lower middle class doesn't have as much money as the upper middle class and on up. So, like me, I was lucky enough. I mean, just I think I had just gotten paid or whatever. And the only reason I had a PS3 at launch is because my ex-wife at the time she was supposed to have the kids for Christmas, and she called me, and we were in the store. I was at Walmart, and she's like, I can't do the kids Christmas. Can you help me? I'm like, if I'm buying Christmas, they're gonna be at my house. Like, I'm not about to spend money and give it to you. That's just not how I'm gonna work. And so I at the last minute, and luckily the PlayStation 3 had just launched that week or whatever, and I bought me one, which was $600. If it took a lot of money out of my pocket, I would never have bought that otherwise because of the fact of costing $600. But it's just the way just the way the world works and the money. And I don't know why it's tied to I guess one of the ways out of poverty, they say, is to save up money and invest in the stock market. No, the crash happened in the lifespan of the PS3 and the 360. Not the PS3 was not didn't launch in a crash market. The crash happened after the PS3 and 360 launched. That's the reason why we didn't get a PS4 and an Xbox One during that time. And even they came out and said that's the reason why. Like they're just people weren't financially spending the money, and so they couldn't launch a product knowing that it wasn't going to be well received. And I think each company now, especially coming next generation, has a lot to prove if they launch their system anything higher than $400. Because PlayStation 3 launched at $600, and they were touting it to be all these different things, and it didn't come out the way they expected. And Xbox One launched, and they were touting all these different things, and it didn't come out to be the way they expected. So both of these consoles, if they launch higher than $400, they are going to have to do extra work to try to prove to the reason why you need to spend that kind of money. Because the track record of both of these, if anything higher than 400 is not great.
Yeah. I mean, 4K, right?
Oh, God.
4K 60. True 4K. True 4K.
Yeah. I hate fucking marketing buzzwords, man.
Oh,
I really do.
Yeah. Yep.
It's one thing if people understand what they are, but like so many people just believe it because they hear it. That it's just it's hard to talk to people.
You damn right, Xbox Spectacular. I will shill AMD any chance I get. So fuck off.
I'm not sure what we're shilling, but I mean, can you make sure the people we're shilling for pay this? Because
right,
I haven't got my paycheck.
AMD, where's my check at, yo? This is
I think
bullshit.
4K. Yeah, I think 4K altogether, dynamic, true, whatever the hell you want, whatever kind of adjective you want to throw in front of the 4K. I think it's pointless, to tell you the truth. I mean, the only thing that really makes the difference between 1080p and the 4K is the HDR. And without HDR, I mean, you're just looking at like maybe just a line that might be a little, straighter than what it is on the 1080p screen. Not really much of a mind-blowing jump. So, I mean, I hope that they can figure out a way next generation to even to maybe play around with the HDR. Maybe HDR gets better by then. And so that way they can play around with it a little bit more and make it to where it kind of like tricks your mind to thinking that you're getting a better looking, product than what it really actually is because of the colors. I just hope something happens.
Yeah. Dude, we're not doing shit.
I'm not bashing anybody. I haven't talked shit about either of the companies. We were actually talking about like what next generation is going to be. Okay, the Xbox guy, I'm not going to get into it because he's simply just not listening.
Just silly shit.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens and what they end up playing with. Because it really, at this point, like what Xbox guy is the PS4 is doing. They could be for a while. They're going to with the PlayStation Plus next year to make it this okay. Because 2 games, I can get it because I mean I was paying $60 a year for Xbox that I was only downloading 2 games, and I wasn't complaining. Yes, I mean I'm doing the best I can with my internet. But I mean I don't know like to be able to say Xbox gets 2 Xbox One games and 2 360 games that you can play on the Xbox One for $60 compared to PlayStation where you're only getting 2. They're gonna have to either make them all AAA games or do something more, for their customers to make them feel like they're getting their money, the same money worth as what they were getting when they were getting 6 games.
Yeah. Dice. Dice do. Oh, that's more of that stupid shit.
In the chat room.
Oh, definitely stupid shit in
Like
the
you're
chat.
reading.
But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, just something on Reddit.
Reddit is very temperamental, man. Like you've got to like they say no self promotion, but if you're a website that you're trying to put your article out, how do you put your article out?
That's a good
It's
question.
weird. You know, it's like you put it like, oh, it's doing it for self promotion. I'm like, I'm not just trying to like, put the information out there. Not like, I'm not really going, hey, come click on this and, make sure you start signing sub or whatever like that. It's just like, I don't know, it's really weird. There's some of the threads or whatever will allow you, and then some of them will like, hell no.
Yeah, some of the rules and some of those subreddits are just they're really weird. But
one of the guys in our Facebook group like had a suggestion like that he wanted to create a forum for the Xbox group that we had. I'm like, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. I was like, you're never going to compete with Reddit and Reset Era. I was like, you're going to be doing all this work to create a damn forum, and ain't nobody going to come to it because they're already most people are already entrenched in their favorite forums. I was like, I'm not going to run a forum. I'm not doing that. Facebook ain't that damn serious for me to try to run a forum as well as everything else I'm doing.
oh, interesting.
What's that?
The Redbox were purchasing the digital deluxe edition of Blu-rays and DVDs from retail locations. They would then rent out the DVDs and then sell the digital codes on their website. Disney sued them.
Xbox?
No, this is Redbox.
Redbox. Okay, I heard
Redbox.
box. So I was wondering. We've been talking about Xbox, so it kind of like put that in my head. So
yeah, Redbox. Yeah.
Okay.
So Disney sued them, but the judge ruled against them.
How do they? How did the judge rule against them?
For sale. You are allowed to, like, you're allowed to sell something after you've bought it. Nobody can stop you from selling even if it's a intellectual property. Like, they can't stop you from reselling a book that you've bought or a DVD.
I get that, but I mean, like, reselling the digital code, because the digital code says it's non-transferable. Like, it's for the purchaser only, like for a backup copy, because like by the I guess the pirating rule is that you can have a backup digital copy to your physical media. And so I thought that was actually kind of like more ironclad, but that's actually interesting that they ruled against Disney, because I figured that would be protected under Disney's side.
All right,
that's
guys.
interesting. So that means I can actually buy the movie and then resell my codes online.
Technically, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I got a code for that Battleground movie.
What Battleground movie? I might want it.
I don't know. It's what you get when you when they gave it away. Microsoft did for PUBG or something.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it's kind of crappy from what I understand.
Yeah. If it's anything related to like PUBG, I don't want to watch a movie based on PUBG because
that would be the most boring shit ever.
Yeah. The game's cool, but the game I think is more play with your friends fun type thing. But to watch a movie by yourself, no, it just doesn't sound appeasing.
Not.
And for a game, for me to watch a movie based on the game, it's got to be like a game that I'm really interested in. Because for the most part, the games and movies don't translate well.
I mean, really, game movies like historically have kind of sucked. So
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank
Yeah.
was a good one. Assassin's Creed was okay. It was just so reminiscent of the first game that I didn't like it as much because of the damn animals. Tomb Raider is like but I think it almost seemed like Tomb Raider was kind of a movie to a game type thing. Even though we know that it seemed like that. Whenever back then, I remember associating the movie to the game to the movie instead of the reverse of it. So because I always go watch the movie with Lara Croft, and then I get to play Lara Croft.
yeah,
For the most part, I mean, like, yeah, they're not.
like Doom.
They're not good,
That movie sucked.
Huh?
Yeah, Doom with The Rock. That sucked.
Oh, I haven't even watched that. Rampage, I don't know how that one's gonna turn out.
I hope it's better than most of the game movies.
What's another one that's getting The Witcher 3 or The Witcher?
It's being made into a Netflix deal, right?
Yeah, Netflix series. And somebody was like, "That's a good way to kill a series," and like they're not basing it on the game; they're basing it on the actual books. So that one actually might be. I'm gonna watch it, but it's like Netflix has been creating some damn good content.
Well, guys, I was gonna go get something to eat. Did you guys want to keep going, and I can hand it off to Pete, or?
It's fine with me.
Rambo, did you want to keep going with Pete?
Oh no,
I think
lost
he,
Rambo,
I think he might have dropped.
our friendly neighborhood robot.
Well, he'll probably pick back up. So yeah,
Can y'all hear me?
yeah.
Yeah, here you
All
go.
right. I'm trying to figure out like things to talk about because the only thing right now, like we're running out of stuff, and then the chat keeps trying to bait into damn discussion. That's not really a fruitful discussion.
It's true. I guess we could end it. It's been kind of a slow day.
All right, guys.
A lot of stuff has happened, but we kind of talked about it, quickly and thoroughly, and
Yeah, nothing with a lot of discussion behind it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at 2.5 hours, so. Alright guys, well thanks for watching, and hopefully soon we'll have like a more like solid plan, I guess you'd call it. But for now, I mean, as long as Rambo and Pete want to, we'll just keep doing this Wednesday and Friday deal, and then if Brim comes on later at night, great. If he can't, then he can't. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Alright guys, we'll catch you in the next one.